everyone. Joining me today are two legends of the Oracle EPM product management team who really don't need any introduction at all, but for those that are new to the ecosystem, Rich, please.
So my name is Rich Wilkie. I have been with Oracle for 25 years, and I lead the Financial Close product management team here at Oracle. So just great to be here, Minnie. Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Al?
Yeah, Al Marciante, former VP of Product Management with Oracle, recently stepped away from the game for a little bit, but likewise was really flattered to be invited on this today. So.
We're really lucky to have you both. So we are AI world, and it goes without saying that AI is on everybody's mind. So let's start off with AI and what you're seeing in the product and what you're excited about, Rich.
So I think what's really interesting is, first of all, obviously at this conference we have a lot of customer meetings, and AI is the topic for everyone, right? So it's not just that AI is in the industry, it's not just that the vendors are doing it, but it's the customers want it. So, but it's not just AI for AI's sake. They want, features that are going to make, for my area, their close quicker, right? Everybody wants to close the books quicker. Everybody wants involve more data, get better transparency. So from our side, we're really focusing on those areas. How can we improve like automation capabilities? How can we improve troubleshooting issues for our customers? And really, how can we improve a financial close process? So lots of stuff underway from our side to facilitate that, but very excited about what is coming.
That's interesting you mentioned that the customers are really driving it, and you guys have been in the industry and in your roles for a long time. What is different about this transformation and shift in technology compared to when we were going on-prem to cloud, right? And so it seems like it's very customer-driven in this transformation. Why do you think that is?
So I guess 25 years is a long time, so I'm going to let that one go. But that's okay. No, I think what's interesting is like ChatGPT became like a thing like, in our personal lives relatively recently, and it's really evolved to like things we use, our Google searches. So like in our personal life, AI is benefiting us. So it logically makes sense that it's going to be something that can really help in the business world, right? And so I think customers are obviously always looking at cost controls. We live in a little bit of a crazy time economically. So anything you can do to get a better handle on your cost controls and be more competitive versus your customers, you're going to want to do that. And I think AI has jumped out as that's the thing, the differentiator that can really make a difference for really any customer.
Right, and the customer community seems like it's tighter than ever, growing. I mean, with your involvement in Customer Connect over your time at Oracle, you've seen that in the reporting and analytics space as well, with AI features being very prevalent and then the customers wanting more, right? So
narrative became a very good place to start with doing generative AI, because the first thing a lot of folks have to do after a financial close or during a planning cycle, forecast, whatever, is providing context to their reporting, right? And we do that through writing narratives or putting business commentary on things. So being able to take advantage of capabilities that we have there to drive some of those narratives directly into reports as they're run, distributed to people, whether they get them through bursting, through email, they're already getting focus on where the key things are that they need to look at, even if it's not visible on the report. Because you could do a lot of creative things that we have seen customers doing. And certainly things around the community is they're sharing more of these more readily, right? So when we thought about when we went from on-prem to cloud, there was a lot of concern, especially in finance, where it's like, well, I'm not sure if I trust my data there, all those things. So that seemed to be a bigger hill to climb than kind of seeing customers adopting AI now. Sure, they're worried about security. They want to make sure that their data is not, being used to train stuff. But they seem to understand, as Rich mentioned, they're already using this in their personal lives. They're using it instead of Google search. They're asking it for airline, routes and other things now that you don't have to do it the old way. And they're seeing the benefits and efficiencies of doing that. So, it's just the growth from, just year to year, seeing how quickly customers are now talking AI. You no longer have to sell them on it and why it's valuable to them. They're really trying to understand, okay, how can we use this? How do we adopt this? And what's our roadmap to do that? So.
To your point, the thing that amazes me is I had several meetings yesterday where the customers said, we are 100% all in on AI across the enterprise. And like it took a long time for cloud to get to hit that peak,
Right.
right? And this is like now immediately, like big companies are saying this in meetings, and I was like, wow, that's, but they recognize it's their competitive advantage if they do it right.
So how do you see the roles in organizations potentially shifting? We get this question a lot from our customers because we see that Oracle is enabling them with AI features. What advice would you give them as they're looking at the future of their finance or their accounting or how they're working on their day-to-day lives?
I think the message here is we're looking to transform finance from a role that provides information to a role that drives decision making. And that's what AI can give you, because you're going to get information quicker, more upfront, better analysis, the ability to inform the business of what we're seeing and how changes can be made versus sort of reacting to that after the fact. So I think from that perspective, we think AI can make finance a more valuable part of an organization.
So how do you balance, or how do you tell customers to balance risk, auditability with a lot of the AI features coming up? And with innovation, there's always this concern of how it's going to change, right, the world of compliance.
Yep.
So what are some of your thoughts on that?
We actually had a conversation yesterday with the customer exactly about like SOX reporting,
Right.
and SOC reporting, and how all of that. I think it's a valid concern. I think the industry is evolving on that. I think, if you look at Oracle, right, cloud is pervasive across all of Oracle. Oracle has incredibly strong cloud hosting policies, AI policies. Just for us to get a feature out the door, we have to go through a really stringent review process. Al can attest to this because he suffered through it the first. So I think we know that what we're doing is really satisfying that. I think it's a matter of contractually, communicating it and just providing assurances. It's exactly like the cloud. As more people get comfortable, they'll recognize the fact that, guess what, this is more secure than what you do in your own home, right? So it's nothing that we do is going to be shared. We don't train the model with customer data and share it out to others. So there's a lot of just communication of those aspects that I think will give people a good feeling, and nothing beats customers talking about it, right? So you'll just see more and more webcasts of customers sharing their story, and that's when people can say, they're good with it, and they're in my industry, or they're bigger than me, maybe I need to reconsider our approach.
So you mentioned, customers evangelizing things, talking about it, Cloud Customer Connect, the community, and the way customers shaped the Oracle product over time. Talk a little bit about how some of these new AI features are being shaped by the customer ask specifically.
They're driving a lot of these use cases now with AI. So they're already going beyond where we're focusing and suggesting new things, which is great. In the case of reporting, when we were doing these things, that's where you start to open the door more of, well, I don't want to see narratives that are based on something I can see. Like if I see a grid and I can see a variance there, but having the ability to use different features that are available as part of reporting and generating narratives that go deeper. Like, okay, what were the top 5 or bottom 5, 7 products or markets or a cross-dimensional kind of thing? What were the bottom 5 products in the top 3 markets that were driving this variance? And so those things were being directly driven by customers that saw what we were doing but said, I want to do this a bit deeper because I don't actually want to build reports for all this. I don't want my users spending the time drilling and clicking and going in and zooming and doing these things or going through a bunch of reports that they receive. I just want this narrative here because that's what I do as a financial analyst, or that's what I do in FP&A when I have to provide these narratives. So they've been really, driving it that I had seen on the reporting side, and even what we're seeing as we talk about things like contextual data exploration and those type of things. It's really to kind of, unbound or make it unbound for that user to ask the questions they need to ask. All the while their security, they're not looking at data that they're not really allowed to see in the application either. So doing those types of things is something that we saw.
I would just say early customer usage makes software better, right? And so because it's impossible for our product management team to think of every possible use case and every possible. We're just not experts in every industry and everything. So early customers, they get their hands on, and and partners, right? And they kind of drive things a little bit and really help us see the power of some of the stuff that we're working on. So I think foundationally, if we deliver good features that allow some configuration, that can really help evolve these features and make them better. So I think we all see that, this is how we've always done our software. And I think AI is no different. It's good to be first, or it's good to be early, because you have a lot of power to influence the direction of where features evolve.
So we see a lot of customers that are still struggling with a long time to close the books. What do you think the reason for that is? Is it that despite all the technology that is available to them, the process at the core, is part of it? What are those challenges that still you see clients struggle with beyond that?
If you've got four different general ledgers because you made a couple acquisitions, and if you have chaos in your data, and you don't have good systems, and your processes are a little different, it's going to struggle to kind of pull all of that together. Consolidate that quickly, solve any problems. Like, that's just a lot of busy work, which is why we see more people kind of consolidating on single ledgers, implementing, a tool like EPM, which, is a single platform for all of your different business processes. It's cleaner. Mm-hmm. It's cleaner, it's simpler, it's easier for end users. And it helps drive process change, right? So because it's full of best practices. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of a big driver for these transformation situations that we're seeing, is because you're just not going to solve that chaos without a significant investment in software and a driver towards better process.
Right, so it has to be both going hand in hand.
And you need a really good partner to work with you, right? I'm serious, right? Because we make software, but we don't dictate process change to you and all of that. Like, a good partner can really help drive those transformational experiences and help build out roadmaps and kind of the steps to do it. I think that's where, like, Oracle plus a partner is a good situation.
Definitely interesting and important to share those lessons across, like you said, industries. And then we've seen the products also grow and incorporate more features based on, like we were talking, customer feedback and different challenges that customers and industries face. So going to the continuous close, right? What are some of the pieces of advice you would give a customer wanting to eventually shorten the cycle, in addition to process and technology, but get that constant monitoring, right? And understanding of where we are at any given point in time, so that they can make better decisions.
Yeah, like you said, the quicker you close, the more you actually have a report card on how you're doing,
right,
which allows you to better, make any adjustments, midstream versus waiting. So, a lot of that is just streamlining of data. Mm-hmm. You can do like this continuous close, or, doesn't necessarily need, like there can be, you can estimate accruals and things like that, because you don't need 100% accuracy if you're doing a soft close on Workday 14, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need that. So some of it's just accepting where you're going to be. But obviously, a lot of it's just driven by software. Like, there's a lot of people involved in a hard close. There's less people involved in a soft close. There's more software. There's more automation. There's more AI, quite honestly. And so that is really a big driver of how you can get there. What
are some of the features on the product roadmap that you're most excited about that are going to change the game for clients?
I think this whole agentic experience that's been talked about a lot at this conference. If you look at, and an agentic flow is agents talking to each other and supervisor agents really running processes. If you think about something like there's a ledger agent which is managing ledger activities. There's a consolidation agent which is managing consolidation activities. Those two talk to each other. The consolidation agent knows when a consolidation is needed, when the intercompany agent needs to review intercompany. Like, that kind of agentic flow is mm-hmm. awesome, right? Because you're just basically having these agents manage that process.
Right.
And human in the loop, right, is basically, hey, there's a problem, mm-hmm. there's a variance that's bigger than I know what to do with. Get that human involved, and flash them the information in the medium, whether it's Teams, Slack, email. So I think that kind of thing is not that far away. That right. experience, right, is really groundbreaking mm-hmm. For what you can do. We've got a great demonstration here at AI World of the ledger agent and the reconciliation agent talking to each other and managing reconciliations. And it really is a kind of an awesome experience of how bringing the ledger and EPM together and letting the agents manage that process is really what is going to be groundbreaking and really transform finance.
Right, and I'm sure it gets you out of bed in the morning, right?
Well, I mean, there's Buddy, my little puppy, who's like pawing and saying, "Take me out." But after Buddy, yes, we'll talk about agents.
Of course.
Yeah.
So then with customers knowing that AI is embedded into the product, right, and customers just wanting to get started, a lot of times, we'll tell them, just bite something small off, take it one step at a time. In the reporting space, you mentioned several things in narrative. What is, what would you say, starting with Close, they can start tomorrow? Low-hanging fruit for a customer.
I mean, we have AI features in the product today around things like, we've been focusing a lot on the administration side up front, focusing on like our job analytics will basically Gen AI summarize all of your like a consolidation or a translation, so you know where the time is being spent and any bottlenecks. We're working on what we call like script narration, so basically creating calc script and consolidation scripts through natural language. So there's a lot of like cool little activities that are maybe not this giant agentic flow, but they're features along the way. From a reconciliation standpoint, we're working on adding machine learning, which is coming out hopefully later this year. Machine learning to improve the transaction matching experience and do better predictions. So, there's a lot of sort of small features that are, not small, but like features that are coming out that aren't giant agentic flows that will give people a flavor of what they can achieve. Also, I'm sure you're going to say this, is we also do these like early adopter programs where we'll, product management will sit down with you and really help work with you on the new features and kind of guide you on, what are your use cases? How would it work best? How do we set it up? So, we want people to use it, and sometimes they just need a little hand-holding.
Right.
So it's something we can do. Certainly it's something, partners can also do. But just letting people know, hey, there's resources, that can help.
And a lot of these features, it seems like, are moving even more towards the finance ownership of the product and ease of maintenance. I mean, you mentioned Smart View earlier. The product and it evolving in an organization, finance needs to be comfortable with it. And reporting and analytics are a key part of that as well, right? So not having to rely on somebody else to decode a calc script and be able to maintain it. And then on reporting side, more self-service, I'm sure, as well, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what I saw as unique at Oracle, what we bring together. So we're not just bringing you AI infrastructure, we're not just giving you access to LLMs and then you figure out your own prompt engineering, you do everything yourself. Right. It's being surfaced where it is enabled by the customer. They can enable this feature, very wizard driven to set stuff up, or whether it's easy to do a quick training on machine learning for account reconciliations, very approachable to business users. We're innovating every month. Like, we're giving some updates, we're giving some new features, we're doing things. And, it's up to them on their schedule, but we want to bring them along on that journey. So to Rich's comment is like, there are these opportunities at, whether it's at conferences where they get hands-on, there's local events our pre-sales team does and our sales team does. And then there's obviously things we were doing from a development organization to do, which are all free opportunities that we did from a development perspective, but we want to make sure those customers that have been there a long time understand how the product's advancing as well, so they can continue to modernize their processes, take advantage of these things so they can go the next step. Like, they got that big bump when they went cloud, or they did these things, but we want to make sure that they know they can take it to the next level and continue on that journey. So
absolutely.
Really,
and you guys have both always been so great about talking to customers, directly addressing any challenges that they may have. What are some of the you talked about questions around risk you're being asked. What are some of the other questions you're being asked by customers at this conference or in general within this year?
Most of the questions are simply around, obviously, a lot of AI, and then just questions around like, what are some things that we are coming that non-AI that might benefit us? What are some things that we should look into? People come to this conference to learn, to network, and to learn. It's a great experience for that. They want to hear what other customers are doing. So a lot of it is also, well, tell me what other people are doing, because everyone's kind of peer benchmarking themselves.
Absolutely. And, the other side with the reporting and analytics, of course, we have a lot of customers always asking us, what is the right, approach for the kind of information I'm trying to get, right? There's a lot of reporting tools now. We got the basics of close and consolidation out. How do you help a customer trying to understand where it's best to just have some smart view, right? Where is it best to have narrative? Where is it best to have dashboards? I know that's one of the things that we get asked a lot too.
And soon it'll be asking questions, right? They're just going to get into an open UI and ask questions and just go in and just get responses. Like, I don't really need to see a report for this. I just want to know what this number was last quarter and how it compared to quarter over quarter from the prior year.
Right.
I just want to get some information quickly. I don't want to try and find the report or open up SmartView, connect, and do this. So,
yeah.
I think you'll see a lot of that landscape change as we introduce a lot more of that interactivity with data and just providing them those type of capabilities.
Got it. So, I always like to ask this question. You've done this before. After 25 years, it can't be reporting. It can't be just close and console. What is it that you're excited about still after 25 years?
You mean work or personal?
Both.
Personally, I'm looking forward to playing tennis this winter and really improving my game. Work-wise, I think it's just this evolution of these agents and kind of seeing that all come together.
Yeah.
And seeing, one of the cool things about this conference for people on our side is we spend all this time making software and kind of dealing with problems and just situations and getting things out and doing training and working with partners. And it's really cool when people come up to you and like, hey, software's great, thanks so much. And it's like, this is someone like, it's just really rewarding, I think, to kind of see the flip side and like to know like, oh my God, we make software that like $20 billion companies use to close their books and do their reporting. That's a really cool thing. And sometimes you lose that in the day-to-day of your job.
Right.
So that kind of thing I find very rewarding. And, so doing something that I know will help them and I'll get more of that because I need my ego stroke is a good thing.
Well, I know that after 28 years in this industry, you've also been through a lot of change. And, what is it now that you're most excited about?
Well, I'm most excited about, as I mentioned, I'm going to be looking at my next chapter. And, I expect to stay within this community. I loved working with the Oracle EPM community, our partner ecosystem, the customers. I just want to add on to Rich's comment. I mean, the team is full of passionate people that truly believe in these products and what they're doing. And the worst thing is to be driving innovation that customers aren't adopting. So even if they have issues, like we love to hear that, well, I tried to use this, but it didn't satisfy that. Okay, tell me what we can do to make it better for you or to add value to you. Or even if they have a problem, we'll get that resolved. And that always bred a lot of loyalty in our customer base that when they come to these things, they might have been upset with us like during an implementation because they had some unique use case that they were struggling through and then we helped them and then they come and they're like, we love it, it's changed our life, I get to spend my weekend at home during close now. Right. I'm not working a 72-hour one-day close.
Yeah.
I'm there literally for, that Monday, my normal 9 to 5 or whatever it is these days kind of thing. So
yeah.
I think that was what's really important here. So there's a lot of personal stuff I'm going to be doing now in my future here, but I look to stay connected to certainly this system, ecosystem, because I think it's just been, it's amazing. So.
Well, I know you guys also like to have a lot of fun, not only with each other, but it seems like the product management team, you guys actually enjoy what you do and you have a lot of fun. So as an observer, I'll add that as well, that, you seem to enjoy every day.
Never go out.
And this was very fun too. So thank you again for joining me today, and we'll have a great rest of your conference.
Great.